Well, hello once again, fellow Star Trek fans. I welcome you to another video. Recently, I did a video for you guys on the model kits of Star Trek the Motion Picture. We did the Enterprise, we did the Vulcan shuttle, and we did the Klingon cruiser. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a model from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Of course, the return of Khan from Star Trek the original series Space Seed. And when it comes to Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, there's really not too many model kits that I know of anyway. I mean, of course, we got the Enterprise and we got the U.S.S. Reliant. Now, the U.S.S. Reliant was the ship that was captured by Khan and ultimately was destroyed. And when that was destroyed, the planet Genesis was created. And then we go into Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. But the evolution of that model kit is pretty interesting. So I want to show you guys the first model kit that we had. This is back in 1995. We were introduced to the AMT Ertl U.S.S. Reliant. And that was a treat at the time because the Enterprise was the star and most of the model kits were either Klingon ships or the Enterprise. So it was nice to have something different, of a different class of starship, especially after the Wrath of Khan, and that's when we got the U.S.S. Reliant. So we'll go ahead and I want to talk to you about this model, but let me go ahead and put you on a tripod. All right, that's a little bit better. I'll show you the box. I love the box art on this. You can see the U.S.S. Reliant NCC-1864. And this is in 1/650 scale. You can see Star Trek. It doesn't say Wrath of Khan anywhere, but we all know where the Reliant came from. I'll show you the sides of the box real quick. You can see the side has the information about the ship. It's got the parts. You can see the hull, the lower captain cabin on the bottom. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus for you. Then we've got the bridge. You can see the different, the long-range sensors. You can see the nacelle on the bottom, the impulse engines, and the shuttle bays are on the back. So, you can see some of the features that this had. Highly detailed model kit, measures over 20 inches long. Authentic decals to replicate the U.S.S. Reliant. And when you see the side of the box, this is kit number 8766, and you've got that same picture. And check out the price, guys. $4.99. Been a long time since we could get a model, especially of this size and quality, for that price. Both ends of the box are pretty much the same. And let's see, you got the same information on the other side of the box, and you've got the different languages. The kit includes all necessary components to build a U.S.S. Reliant, measures over 20 inches long, fully assembled. Authentic decals to replicate the U.S.S. Reliant, and cement and paint is not included. And it's got a variety of countries and languages. And you can see the barcode. 1995. This is the Ertl company. So, as cool as this model was at the time, we got the U.S.S. Reliant. And what's nice about this model is it's easy to light because you got a lot of the windows are open. Not open, but they're, you know what I mean, they're drilled out. And I just happen to have the instructions offhand. I'm going to put them up like I always do, but in this case I wanted to actually show you the instructions, to show you the improvements that Polar Lights has made in the most recent release of this. So again, this is from 1995, and this is for stock number kit 8766. You can see the nacelles, pretty basic, a lot like the Enterprise. You can see the beacon that's going to go in the back. You can move on to the nacelle, the engine, nacelle assembly. And then we get the assembly of the hull. This is a pretty basic kit. There's not a ton of parts. You can see where the shuttle bays are. The assembly for the docking lights. Again, this is if you're looking to light the model, this is going to be really easy to light. And then we have the sensor array assembly, the long range. After the assembly is completed, mask all clear parts and paint as a unit. You can see the hull with the nacelles going on and the sensor dome on the bottom. And you can see part 7 is actually the final assembly, where it all comes together. All right, so when it comes to detailing the ship, there are not a lot of decals that come with this. You can see what we're going to get. Of course, the registry markings, and there is some pinstriping to go along it. And that's the bottom view of the ship. I'll show you guys the bridge area, the bridge dome, the decal, the decals that are going to go on B and C deck. And it shows you the color, the duck egg blue. You can see the top of the ship. Again, there aren't a super amount of decals. So back in the day, if you were going to do this and try to make it look like it did on screen, you'd have to do a lot of masking and painting to do the Aztecing. I don't even know if anybody actually was able to do the Aztecing back then, if they actually had the tools to do it. But you can see the top of the nacelle, the details that are going to go there. It shows you the colors of the beacons and the sides. And of course we have the sensor array, the long-range sensor array with the decals, and it shows you the paint colors as well as the bottom. And again, this is Earl. So this is basically what we had in 1995. And there's not a ton of parts on this. I'll show you the parts tree and some of the parts for this model kit. Again, this is the first model of the U.S.S. Reliant. And now let's talk about the evolution of this model kit, which is really, really going to be fun. Now, this was released in 1995. And I want to show you the most recent version of this model kit. Actually, this is from 2017, and this is AMT. Of course, the Ertl name is removed because Polar Lights had taken it over. And this one does feature it as the Wrath of Khan, whereas the original Ertl model did not, just had it as Star Trek. And this one, if you notice, is 1/537 scale plastic glue-together model. But when you see the models side by side, it really looks like it almost could be the same mold. So this one is a little bit, if you go by scale, this one would be a little bit larger, which is confusing because the decal set can be used for both, and I'll get to the decal set for this in a moment. You can see this one had the decal set used. You can see the beautiful Aztecing on the top of her hull. You can see the long-range sensors. You can see the photon torpedo tubes in front of that. The sensor array. And you see the side of the ship. You still have the side view, but that doesn't label the parts like it did on the original AMT box. And the end of the box has the same kind of photo, and that's AMT 1036-06. And I believe both ends of the box are the same. Yep. And I believe both sides of the box are the same. So you got this side and you've got this side. So what this one doesn't have, what this model kit in the box have that the original one did not have is you had the nice depiction on the front and you had the information on the side with the graphic, but on the box there really was nothing. It showed you just the basic information about the kit and what you need, no paint included, things like that. The back of this box, or the back of most of the polar lights, you can actually see they show a finished model. And this finished model measures 18 inches long. Now, if you guys remember, if this one is 18 inches, does it say how big the model kit? Where did I see that? This one says over 20 inches. And this is in 1/650 scale. And it says over 20 inches long, fully assembled. The newer kit from 2017 measures 18 inches long, finished model. And this scale is 1/537, so this should actually be bigger than the other one, yet this is over 2 inches smaller, so I don't understand that discrepancy. You can see a nice picture of the finished ship. In the Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, you can see all pennant and registry markings decals included. Of course, that's not the Aztecing, that's a whole different thing. It does come with the base dome that Polar Lights is famous for. The other one does not come with a stand of any kind. So that's a nice little added bonus for the evolution of this model kit. And you can see there's information on here that's not on the other kit about Khan. For 15 years, Khan Noonien Singh could think about nothing but revenge. Revenge for being created as a superhuman warrior, but denied his due reward. Revenge for being banished from Earth. Revenge for being marooned on a broken planet. But more than anything else, revenge for the death of his wife. One name became the target of his rage, the name of the man he held responsible for this abominable situation, James T. Kirk. In the fan-favorite film Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, he would eventually get his chance to administer revenge against Kirk by hijacking the Federation starship U.S.S. Reliant. Normally manned by a crew of 237, Khan managed to control the ship with a skeleton crew of his fellow outcasts. The Reliant's catamaran-like design endowed the ship with a distinctively sleek but aggressive stance. Equipped with 5 phaser banks and forward and aft dual photon torpedo launchers, the Miranda-class starship would prove itself a formidable opponent to the flagship of the Federation, the U.S.S. Enterprise, NCC-1701, that would be the refit. This plastic assembly kit of the U.S.S. Reliant measures 18 inches long and 11 inches wide. It is molded in off-white and clear and includes a dome-style base featuring a metal support rod. Ship registry and marking decals are included. Again, you got the marking like the pinstriping, the registry markings. There is no, absolutely no Aztecing. You can see plastic assembly glue together model kit. And you can see more information at the bottom of 2017. And you can see U.S.S. Reliant Aztec surface decals featuring additional registry options available for your favorite hobby retailer. From your hobby retailer, excuse me. And that's a nice accessory to this. So why don't we go ahead and show you that accessory set. You can see this has the decals. You can see the beautiful Aztecing, and we're going to use this. I think when we make this kit, we're going to light it. Obviously, everybody who knows me knows that I just have to light my kits. So we're going to use this one, and we're going to use these decals, and you can see going around the primary hull, the windows, and this is going to be really fun, especially to light. You can see Star Trek U.S.S. Reliant NCC-1864. This is the 1/537 scale Aztec decal set. Bonus, U.S.S. Saratoga registry markings included. So you can do either the Reliant or the U.S.S. Saratoga. And there's nothing on the back. You can see quickly. This decal set supplies extensive Aztec panel decals, which represent the detailed surface decoration of the U.S.S. Reliant, model used during the filming of Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. The decals have been specially engineered to fit the 1/537 scale model kit by AMT. They are compatible with setting solution, though it is not required. The decals cover nearly the entire model through paint is required in some areas to completely match the filming miniature. This set of decals consists of over 100 decals with placement instructions and includes an alternate name and registry decals to create the U.S.S. Saratoga. You can see this would be the item number MKA021-06. And this is again released in 2017. Now, one of the questions that I have is if you have this model, or let's back up. Let's say you guys have this model kit, and this one you can get online relatively cheap for probably under 30. Well, not, yeah, if you really look hard. Brand new like this or unopened, still sealed, probably around $40. Between 40 and 50 if you look hard. If you get a really good deal, could be a little bit cheaper. Anyway, if you have this and you want to make it, but you want to put Aztecing on it, and you decide to get this sheet, again, this is for 1/537, the Reliant. Now, for what I was led to believe, the molding that made this model kit is the same molding for this model kit. And absolutely, if there are discrepancies or I find other information or if they're compatible, I will put it up on the screen for you guys. Because this model kit is more expensive. This one was probably, I don't know, north of $80. I mean, it's much more detailed. It's a better model. There's more areas to light. There are more clear parts. It's really a much better kit in itself. But again, it's interesting how this one has a larger scale, but it's 2 inches long from the original one. So I'm going to do a little bit of research. And I'm going to put up on screen the actual side-by-side comparison if I can find it. If we have to, we could do a side-by-side comparison when we make this model. If I do an unboxing of the old model for you, just to show you guys what it's entailed. So the model has come a long way, and especially with the Aztecing. And they've done the same thing for the Enterprise refit. They've actually done the same thing for the 1350 refit as well. When the model was first released as the refit, you remember it had that base where it was kind of like the clear plastic poles or spokes the ship rested on. When they re-released it, Polar Lights released it, and it actually had a full set of the Aztecing decals that would cover the ship. The next release following that, the most latest release that they have of the refit in 1350 scale, does not come with refit Aztec decals. You have to buy that. It's separate. As with a lot of them, but the smaller ones have the Aztec decals. I'm not sure if the 1000 or the 2500 scale comes with Aztec decals. I know I showed you guys recently the Star Trek II Wrath of Khan Enterprise and the Reliant. Then that one had battle damage, and it had the decals did not include the Aztecing. Actually, let me take you off the tripod and I'm going to show you. I showed you guys a video on these, and what I did was I also showed you the decal sheet, the aftermarket that's going to cover them. So these do not come with the Aztecing decals. At one time, the Enterprise did come with Aztecing decals, and I'll show you that model kit in another video. But when it comes to the Reliant, I'm talking about this scale, the larger scale Reliant, not the smaller scale. The two major kits that we've had over the course of the years, we've had the AMT Ertl, which came out in 1995, and we've had the AMT, released by Polar Light, so round 2 models. And this one was most recently released in 2017 with this tooling. So, and as a result, they came out with the aftermarket detail set where you can put the Aztec decals on to make her look like she did in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, with that, the way the filming model looks. Incidentally, when it comes to the filming model, I don't know if you guys are familiar with DeBoer hulls, but I wish I had never heard of them. They have the really, really large scale models. They have the U.S.S. Reliant, and they have the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1864. And they're pretty expensive. It's probably about $1,500 a piece. In a perfect world, I can get them both, but I don't have the money, and I'm unable to get them right now. But my friends, I just wanted to show you the Reliant from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Again, there aren't too many model kits that came out of the Wrath of Khan because for the most part, it was the Enterprise and it was the Reliant in the movie. When it comes to actual model kits, I don't think there's the Enterprise. The AMT released a specific Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan U.S.S. Enterprise model kit. We have the Reliant that was released in 1995, but I don't think that we have the others. But anyway, my friends, I just wanted to share these models with you and show you the evolution of this kit. And until the next video, I'll talk to you guys very soon.